Welcome to the Ruveiled podcast.
The Ruveiled podcast.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steven coming at you again. Except I feel like my camera's all out of focus. We're not going to worry about that right now. It looks good enough, I think. I'll worry about that later. I turned it on and all my settings were like, it was all zoomed in and stuff. I think I was using it. But anyways, disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests on Ruveiled are their own, do not necessarily reflect the views of the platform hosting the podcast, YouTube, Rumble, or any individuals, affiliated organizations, or sponsors. You know, the rest of the thing, let me just pull it up. The rest of the thing, you guys can. It's our disclaimer. So anyways, let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by tumor.com. Go get you some merch today. I got hats, shirts, hoodie, a couple hoodies, something like that. I got music videos. I got direct links to all my streaming and quick, easy listening on my website. I also have all of my original music from back in the day, so you can hear my progress and see what I'm about. We also have the Sub Rock Records. Shout out Sub Rock Records. You know, we got amazing media on here. We have great music from Tumor, Gentry Fox, Burnell Washburn. We got Chani the God, you know. So go check out that music. Go check out the services tab. If there's anything in the service tab that might interest you, we got it rolling. We got it all going. So, Ruveiled Podcast, we're everywhere. If you haven't followed us yet, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on TikTok. We're on Rumble. So, thank you all for joining us today. We're going to make it a little bit short and sweet. You know, my idea was that these podcasts were going to be about 15 to 20 minutes long. And it turns out that so far they've ended up being like, 20 to 40 minutes long? Yeah, first episode, 23 minutes. You know, last episode I did, this episode number 2 that we did on Wednesday was 40 minutes long. I thought my camera was going to die, but it lived. I don't know how it lived, but we did it. We did it. So, yeah. Today's topic is thought versus action. I want to make this as short and sweet as possible. So let's kind of get into it. I gotta pull up some of my notes here, but thought versus action, I mean, it sounds like a pretty simple topic, right? Thought versus action. It's like this. You have a thought. What are you going to do with it, though? Because it's like, people could sit around and have thoughts all day. People could come up with ideas all day. People could make a business all day and not act upon it and not go anywhere with it. Or they could act upon it and see the different levels and depths at which they could potentially, you know, start moving. They could potentially start reaching levels of success. Let's see here. So, I think language and knowledge definitely has a lot to do with this, because when we find ourselves, and I hate to kind of say it like this, but when uneducated people finding themselves coming up with ideas, they quickly and easily become discouraged because lack of resources, lack of money, lack of partnership, lack of trust with other people. Not necessarily that, they're not trustworthy, but they feel like they can't trust people, or that they don't have people directly that are trustworthy enough to support them and be involved with their business and actually help them and find a position and start thriving. Now, it's easy to become discouraged. Sometimes you have an idea and you're not discouraged, you're more inspired. That's why we have an idea. So you're like, oh, let me, come up with this idea. Oh, this is a great idea. Let me elaborate on it some more. Oh yeah, this is awesome. You know what? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. We're gonna do it. And then you might kind of make a start. You might not. But either way, whether you do or you don't really get very far if you go anywhere at all. And then you end up becoming discouraged because of the accountability that you're giving yourself. You're looking back and you're saying, oh man, I didn't get this done. Or, I'm not making as much progress as I would have liked to. So it's easy to become discouraged and to let your thoughts go to waste. Let your ideas wither. And you should always at least write them down. So that's one thing about thoughts, is even if you can't act upon them, you should at least write it down. Have a journal, have some sticky notes and a place where you stick your sticky notes, or even a little notebook. They do make little books, like, just handheld, tiny little memo books and stuff like that. So, it's totally worth having. It's totally worth having because then you can get your thoughts down, have any ideas that you may have on hand, and then even if it's something that you can't act upon, even if it's something that is not immediately directly tangible or within your reach to obtain or to make happen, it's at least written down. The idea is still there, so you're not going to let it go to waste. You're not going to let it wither away, and develop a relationship with it. Develop a relationship with your book and with what you're writing down and with your goals, and start to tell yourself, okay, this is what we're working towards. This is what we're working towards. Even like with music, I had the idea that I was going to do music. I talked about that in the last episode. How when I was very young, the story of when I decided to start making music. I didn't get into why I started making music, but I did get into why I started rapping. And with that, because I actually consider those two different things, but I digress. The thought, the thought is there. You gotta act on stuff. You gotta act on stuff. I'm losing my train of thought. Super early in the morning, not gonna lie. I was up really late and I shouldn't have been. But anywho, let's try to get back into this thought process here. Last episode I talked about how I started taking action as a little kid. And you see these kids nowadays too who are using the internet, and they're using all kinds of new technology and tools to create amazing things and put themselves out there. And it all starts in the mind. Wealth starts in the mind. Anything that you want to do, it starts in the mind. It starts in your heart. You have to get to that point, where you're realizing your thoughts, you're realizing your ideas, you're realizing yourself, and then figuring out how to take action. Now, it's really simple to just say, take action, take action, take action. People are lazy, or people let their thoughts go to waste and they don't take action. It's not that easy all the time. It's not that easy all the time. Sometimes you gotta tell yourself that you gotta work with what you can. You gotta work with what you got. Make a start. make stuff happen. Don't let your thoughts go to waste. Have it written down so that you can look at it and make progress towards it. But it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take trial and error. It's going to take ups and downs going through it. But ultimately, if you do want to get to your goals, if you do want to figure out how to achieve your thoughts and make things real, you have to take action. There's all kinds of different ways you can take action. There's different levels to taking action. Some people just work harder than others, straight up. Some people just work harder than others. Some people will go through lengths to figure out how to do something, even if they don't have the proper tools or equipment or knowledge to make it all happen immediately. But they'll dive into it. They'll show up like they've signed up to be there and dive in, start researching, asking questions, getting involved with people, experimenting with things, trying new things. You have to take action in some sort of way. For example, if you wanted to start a podcast, you wanted to do something like this, you could simply do something like what my homie does. He hops on Skype with his buddy and they basically like screen share and screen capture, and then they take that screen capture with the audio and they line everything up in the editing software, make sure everything's all legit, chop it up where they need to. There's free editing software out there, it's using a webcam off the computer or off the phone and just Skyping and talking with each other, and then boom, you got two people talking with each other, they're recording it, and then they can upload it. It's super simple. If you want to be a photographer, you might not need to go get a camera immediately. You might need to start doing some research, watching some videos, maybe try to reach out to some people in your community who are already photographers. Go to your community college, walk around. If you're younger in school still, walk around in school, walk up to people during lunchtime and ask them if they know anybody who's a photographer or anything like that. Or if anybody has a good camera on their phone, or if you feel like you have a camera on your phone that's decent, get outside and start messing with the zoom, start messing with angles, start trying to take some cool pictures. It's not gonna, if you don't have any knowledge of photography and you just start taking pictures, you might get some cool stuff. Even if you don't know exactly what you're doing. And then the more you do it, the more you start clicking little buttons and messing with settings and scrolling this wheel and going through this and doing that, messing with that setting, the more you're going to start dialing in your process, learning about your process, and figuring out more and more every day how to take inspired action to achieve your goals. That's really what this is about. Knowledge is key. Language is key, because I can't remember who said, I believe it was S.1 who was talking about knowledge and how knowledge is power and knowledge is seeing things. So you have one room, electrician walks into the room. What does the electrician see? The electrician has electrical knowledge. He has electrician information. So when he walks into the room, he sees all the wires, he sees all the walls put up, but he can see the socket, and then he understands what the socket is. He understands that behind the wall there's all kinds of cords and things making it all happen. We see a power socket, we just see where to plug in power. We're not worried about all that stuff. But the electrician guy, he can see that stuff without even seeing it. He knows that it's in the room. He flips a light switch, he sees the light switch, he knows what that light switch does, right? Not just that he knows what it does, but how it does it, how it works. He knows all the components and the electrical wires, how it all hooks up to the power outside or whatever. Painter walks into the room. Painter has painter knowledge. So he sees the walls, he's like, oh, that's not white. It's not just white, it's like beige, it's off-white, it's pearl white. Like, he has plumber knowledge, or excuse me, he has painter knowledge, so that's what he's going to go off of. Then a plumber walks into the room. He sees the sink. He doesn't just see a sink, a place where the water goes, down the drain. He doesn't just see the knobs hot and cold. He understands how it's all set up. He knows all the little PVC pipes and all the little adjustments and connectors and how to build it, uniquely in every different situation. So, I mean, knowledge is key to understanding reality. Knowledge is it's a key component to your view of reality. Knowledge is a key component to your view of reality. So simple language is an easy way to be led astray. Simple language is an easy way to be reduced to a lower vibration, like what we were talking about before, to where you don't have any knowledge, to have any higher understanding, to be able to see reality through deeper depths. So simple language can be our downfall. If we are not obtaining the knowledge and we're staying stuck in the same processes and things that we do with work and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, if we're not getting out of the mainstream processes of consuming information, then we're just always going to be on a surface level talking about who did what's going on here, new virus this, vaccine that, Starbucks this, McDonald's that, New World Order this, government that. Whatever it is, even if you're not on that kind of level, you're still just floating through life here in the 3D and the now, based off of current events. Not really much going on, just working your life away, and if you want to break out of the norm, you got to get to the point where you're realizing the power of your thoughts. Once you realize the power of your thoughts, you start letting the valuable thoughts that come to your mind not go to waste. You start to take action upon your thoughts. You start realizing the power in writing it down and acting upon it, So that's pretty much the whole premise of today's episode, is thought versus action. You got to put them on the scale and you got to weigh it out. If you're just doing stuff and you're doing too much and you're not really thinking things through, or you're overthinking about things, that can be very dangerous. Overthinking can be very dangerous because what it does is it creates anxiety. It creates pretty much like ADD. It messes with your attention, it messes with your consistency to yourself. Overthinking's not good. It can be sometimes in certain situations, I guess, you got to consider that. But thought versus action, you gotta put them on the scale, weigh it out, and achieve a balance, so that if your thoughts and actions are tying to your goals, you want to make it happen. You don't want to let it go to waste. You don't want to not achieve your goals. That's how you disappoint yourself. It's how you let yourself down. It's how you fall into patterns that you don't want to be in. It's how you get sucked into a life you don't want to be sucked into. So be conscious of your thoughts. Be wise with your thoughts and write them down. Don't waste your time. Write your thoughts down and be serious about it. Ask yourself what your goals are, if your thoughts are aligning with your goals, and how you're acting, what you're doing every day, and if what you're doing is a result of your thoughts if it's a result of you being conscious or unconscious or subconscious, whether you're doing things intentionally or whether you're just running on autopilot all the time. And be smart with your thoughts, be wise with your thoughts, and understand your actions and understand your goals, and try to connect all the dots between your thoughts, your actions, and your goals, because these three things will help determine your reality and where you're going in life. If you are thinking all these thoughts and letting them go to waste, not taking action, towards your goals, then you're just gonna, like we said, fall into the same processes. You're just gonna get a job you hate. You're gonna fall in love with someone and then realize that reality isn't what it seems, and then you'll start hating each other. Be conscious. If you change your thoughts and you start becoming more aware of your thoughts, it can lead to inspiring action, which will ultimately help you fulfill your goals. So that's today's episode, you guys. I think I'm going to kind of leave it here. I have all kinds of stuff to talk about, stuff to think about. I do have these notes, like what I was going off of, for some other stuff that I wrote down that was actually kind of unrelated to this episode. The topic is kind of similar in these notes that I got, but it's not the same. It's not the same topic. The topic of today, thought versus action, I think is a very important one. It's a crucial one to discuss to the youth, because I know the youth is thinking all of the time. The youth is thinking all the time. You guys have amazing things in front of you. You guys have Facebook. You guys have the internet. You guys have YouTube. You have Google. There's all kinds of things that you guys are always doing, always thinking about. Don't let society lead you down the wrong path. Don't let it happen. Figure out what you want to do now. If you're out of school, if you're growing, you're older, don't get sucked into the 9-to-5 life. Take your free time. And instead of wasting your money, not investing it into anything substantial, if you're just going to work and coming home and being tired, tell yourself to quit being tired. Tell yourself you're not tired. Tell yourself that you have things going on. You have goals that you want to accomplish. You have places you want to get to in life, and you're not going to get there being tired, letting yourself go to waste. You got to take your extra time to put in the work towards whatever it is you want to do. Take the action one step at a time, one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I didn't get all this stuff. I didn't get all this equipment. I didn't get all these speakers and keyboards and drum pads and stuff. I didn't get this all from nothing. It wasn't just nothing, I had to sit down and be serious with myself. And it's not like you gotta pick a time and go to a chair and sit down. No, it's like I just realized one day, just talking to myself, just thinking thoughts. And you have to take action. You have to take action to get where you want to go. This has been the Ruveiled podcast. My name is Stephen Caron. If you haven't already, go follow us everywhere. We're on YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, it's absolutely lit, fam. We are everywhere. Make sure you go check out www.tumid.com, where I have some dope merch and music videos that you can check out, links to all my streaming, and again, shout out Sub Rock Records. Go check out our services tabs. We have all kinds of dope stuff. We have amazing music content. We have amazing music videos. If you go to YouTube and you look up Sub Rock Records, you'll find videos of myself and of Gentry Fox and of Bernie and all of us. We're all there, man. We're all there. It's one love. It's one love. I don't know if I've said that on this podcast yet, but it's one love, everybody. I appreciate you all following. I appreciate you all believing in me and coming through for this journey. It's not easy. It's not easy doing this stuff, but you got to do it if you want to do it. And this is what I want to do. I want to talk to you guys. I want to collaborate with you guys. I want to really create a space where we're able to share with each other, where we're able to discuss topics that are intellectual and inspiring, such as this, that are loaded with deep information that goes into depth, so that we're not just living on a surface level and we're achieving higher understanding. So that's what this is all about. Thank you guys for being here for the Ruveiled podcast. Yeah. That's it. That's today's episode. That's get a hold of your thoughts. Get a hold of your thoughts. Stop letting everything run rampant. Put the vape down. Put the vape down. Put the TikTok down. Put your phone down. Get outside. Take your shoes off. Go plant your feet in the ground. Get outside. Do it. Take control of your thoughts. Take action. Live a good life. Much love, everybody.